Hit it.
I call that a throwback.
Back in the day, ladies and gentlemen, how are you this evening? So glad to be back here at the Ice Center. Big series this weekend. If you don't know, now you know. Affectionately being termed by everybody in Lexington, Buckeye Beatdown Weekend.
Yes, it is.
As the Ohio State Buckeyes come to Lexington to face your University of Kentucky Wildcats. Big series as far as the national implications go. Ohio State now holds the #1 ranking in the Southeast region. Kentucky, after unfortunately being swept at Illinois 2 weekends ago, dropped to 4th in the rankings. So needless to say, this is potentially a make-or-break series for the Wildcats in terms of getting that automatic bid to nationals. Not to say it's not possible they can still make it there, but if you can wrap up an automatic bid, you take it any chance you can get.
So I'm looking at the crowd tonight, and I'll tell you what, we are, 10 minutes away from the start, 12 minutes away from the start of tonight's contest. And look at this crowd.
This crowd is, Scott, get us out of the crowd.
Yes, I know.
Wow.
These fans are ready to go tonight.
I got here about an hour ago or so, about 11:15, and there were already fans just packed at the entrance to the Ice Center, just waiting for tickets to this one. I think a good portion of fans have gotten the message as to how critical this series is. And you talk about the contrasting styles that we've seen from both these squads. Kentucky's been known so prolifically for their offense, as I tilt down because Scott's cutting my head off. Kentucky's so well known for their offense. Tony Valerino continues to lead the nation in scoring. He's got 36 goals on the year and 65 total points. Taylor Vitt's #2 in the nation in points. But you look at this Ohio State team coming into tonight with a record of 10 wins, 2 losses, and an overtime loss. In those 13 games, they've scored a total of 66 goals, which is about 5 goals a game, just over 5. They've only allowed 32. They allow about 2.5 goals per game.
Those numbers, ladies and gentlemen, are numbers you want to be proud of from your defensive unit.
That's why they're ranked #1.
This team relies on defense, and this is going to be the toughest test for Kentucky to date.
Absolutely.
When it comes to coming up against a defensive squad, because this could make or break Kentucky this weekend. It's
not only the defense, it's also the goaltending. The #1 goaltender for Ohio State, Alan Schneider, record of 5-2. He's played over 485 minutes. His goals allowed average is 1.86.
NHL numbers.
Yes. His backup, #1, Matt Smith. He's played in 4 games, a total of 210 minutes. His goals allowed average, 2.86.
NHL.
Third stringer, Jared Ettengoff. He's only played 2 games. His goals against average is just a shade over 4. These save percentages, Schneider, 93%, Smith, 91%, Ettengoff, 84%. Defense and goaltending is why this Buckeye team is ranked #1 right now, and Kentucky's front line is going to have to bring the woodwork again this weekend, doing it shorthanded, a couple of guys out for the Wildcats.
Right, Kentucky is dealing with a couple injuries. The most notable is Daniel Ampliford, who is out with a broken collarbone, and from what I'm hearing from sources, it's going to be the playoffs before he comes back.
I
know it is bugging him half to death.
That injury happened a few weeks ago when the Cats were here last home against the Indiana Hoosiers. So big loss, especially
Eastern
Illinois. I'm all confused. But it's a big loss for Kentucky. Ampliford is, especially on special teams.
Definitely.
Power play and penalty kill. Ampliford, we know, has been so good, especially killing off penalties. So it's going to be critical for the team now not to take penalties, because they don't have their penalty-killing ace out there in Ampliford. And if you mentioned he's out till the playoffs, that is a big loss, and you're going to have to pick up the slack somewhere. I'm seeing Anthony Simando getting dressed tonight. He's playing tonight.
Connor Jonas also out there, because we're missing another player as well in Matt McLaughlin. Upper body injury of sorts, so he's going to be out, but he should be back by next series. Obviously, this is the last series of the semester, which means here in a couple weeks, we're going to have another rankings period. So
yes, we will.
This is how much more critical this game is, because if Kentucky can beat Ohio State, they can sweep them. If they can sweep them, this is the key word, you're going to see a major boost in their rankings.
This is the last chance of the semester, and will actually end up being about another 6 weeks or so for the Kentucky to impress those that come up with the rankings and whatnot. And for Kentucky, if they, in my opinion, if they want any shot in an automatic bid to nationals and a top 2 seed, they can do no worse than split.
Right.
If they get swept, you can kiss a top 2 ranking goodbye.
Right. You're looking at 3, 4, 5 for the rest of the season. But Kentucky can make up a little bit of ground, because coming back, you have games like Lindenwood.
Lindenwood starting the second semester.
That's huge.
That's not the easiest way to begin the second half of your season against the Lindenwood. We all know what power they are. Just found out their Division I team lost against the Bobcats of Ohio. Lindenwood's Division I team was ranked number 1 and 24-0. And lost to the Ohio Bobcats. Ridiculous
numbers. And Ohio now has they've made their case. We want to be number 1 in Division I of the ACHA.
They're going to make a push. This is it. Their record now, I believe, is 22-1-1. So no slouch themselves are the Bobcats, but here down in Division II, we've talked about it the last few times we've been on the air. This is the biggest series of the season for the Cats, because it has such far-reaching implications, not only regionally, but nationally as well.
And I'm going to tell you this. Tonight, I know of some people that are actually skipping out on tonight's game to wait in line for the North Carolina UK basketball game.
Oh, yeah.
The eruption
no,
zone.
I'm sure there's already people camped out at Rupp Arena.
You know what? What are you guys thinking? I know you're going to watch this on YouTube. Why aren't you here?
Yeah, you come here, watch the game, and then you go to Rupp.
There you go.
You're not going to sleep anyway.
Exactly.
You go to Walmart or whatever and get yourself some munchies, and you stay up all night.
Exactly.
It's an early game tomorrow. You get back, the game gets over, the basketball game gets over. You go sleep, and then you come back here tomorrow night.
Half the UK student body is going to have the flu after the ball game tomorrow.
Hey, if they win, it's all worth it.
That's
and
right.
I think every single one of them fans will tell you that.
That is
true.
true.
The fans get sick from being here at the Ice Center, and they beat Ohio State. It's all worth it.
I'm even the likeliness of our good friend Wes. I don't see him.
I don't either.
I think he's one of them waiting out in line to go.
And if I'm seeing this correctly, is Alan Schneider wearing I thought he was wearing a Michigan State helmet. It says Plymouth State.
Plymouth State.
Confused me.
Now, this, watching this drill right here, this is going to be a good indication of how good this goaltender is. I mean, I'm just watching him, and he's so slick.
And this pregame show will be on the YouTube page for fans out there that want to catch this game replay in its entirety later in the week. It will be on YouTube. Question on the board: UK Hockey Rocks, is the place packed?
Yes.
Yes.
And people are still filing in.
I think the only crowd so far that's been bigger this season has been Eastern Kentucky, simply because they sold so many tickets to their student body.
I think Indiana.
That's very possible.
Because Indiana, we were sitting 3 and 4 deep right below us here.
This is very true.
In the pit.
I will give you that.
So I've started to name things here at the Ice Center.
Oh, no.
We're in the bird's nest. Okay.
Cat's nest.
Cat's nest, okay. Cat's nest. Well, this was dubbed the bird's nest by some of the old hockey players, because you get a bird's eye view of everything.
Oh, I get it. It's just
cat's nest.
Cats. We're not the birds.
Yeah, that's true.
That's 70 miles west.
Well, that was some of the old hockey players, okay? And I want to respect their wishes. So we got the nest. Let's just call it that. And then under us, we got the pit.
And quick note before we get going, congratulations to the Kentucky women's volleyball team as they started the NCAA tournament tonight in their run for a national championship. They